Hello and welcome everyone to this tutorial on how to access your WIOA registration forms from your intake and eligibility specialist on an Android smartphone. My name is Nick and I'll be running you through this tutorial. Before we get started, I want to get it out of the way that I'm using a Google Pixel 2 phone. This process should be the same or about the same for whatever Android phone you may be using, whether it's Samsung or otherwise, but please be aware the device that I'm using it on is a Google Pixel 2. If you encounter any issues or something seems really out of place, please contact your intake and eligibility specialist and they will get you in contact with someone who can give you a proper answer to your issue. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Now, first and foremost, you should have gotten an email. In your email, looks something like this. I got one from Mo here that has that little bracket in the back of its name. That means that this is the secure email that we're looking for. But before we even do that, we want to make sure we have a way to properly sign and fill out these forms that the intake and eligibility specialist will be sending us. So what we need for that is the Adobe Acrobat Reader app, and you can see that app is that center app directly in the center of my screen, that red icon that says Adobe under it. This app is a free app that we're going to use to read and sign the forms we can get. If you don't have this app, what we can do is go to the Google Play Store and search it up on Google Play. To do so, you can simply just type in Adobe. And it should be one of the first things to pop up. That first one right there, Adobe Acrobat Reader, PDF Viewer, Editor, and so on. Click right on there. Now here you'll see mine says open. Yours is likely going to say install, as I already have installed this app on my phone as we saw before on my home screen. So install the app, make sure it's open, and then go into it. When you go into it, it's going to ask you to make some sort of account. This account is free. All you have to do is sign up for the account either using your email account or your Facebook account, should you have that. With this necessary step out of the way, now we can go into this email. So this is what the email should look like. It's a secure service that allows us to securely send these documents back and forth, especially with that sensitive information that will be housing on them. So what we want to do is click that View Message button right under Mohammed's name here. This should open this fillable forms area with all the forms available right down here. We will only be doing the example for one of these forms, but the example that we're doing should apply to all of the forms you'll see. So just keep that in mind that you will want to download all of these forms simply by clicking on them. Now, when I click onto them, it sends me right into my Adobe Acrobat application because I had set it up that way the first time I installed the Adobe Acrobat. Your phone should ask you what app you want to open these forms up with. Make sure you click the Adobe Acrobat application, the red application there, and set it so you can always open these kind of forms in this kind of application. So you can see here, this is an example of one of the forms that the intake and eligibility specialist will send to you. You can see those blue lines at the bottom is where we want to fill in our information. Now, it's really easy for things like the date here, because all we need to do is click in there and enter whatever date it is you're filling it out on. Very simple. But what about the signature? We can't exactly type in the signature, so we don't want to click on that box, because if we do so, we can see it opens up the text typing keyboard here. Excuse me, I couldn't think of the word for keyboard. But that's not what we want. We want a signature. So to do that, what we want to do is click on the pencil icon in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Then we want to click on the Fill and Sign option. Click on the pen icon at the bottom of your screen. And I'll delete my signature here to show you how to create a signature. To do so, just click Create Signature. This should flip your phone sideways in order for you to write out your signature more easily. Simply take your finger, or a stylus if you have one, and write out your signature. Not my prettiest signature, is it? Let's try that again. If you do not like your initial signature, simply hit the clear button right below the line, and it'll take away that signature. Let's see if I can make a nicer signature here. My mother did always complain about my penmanship, so Oh, well, that will have to do. Once you're done, simply click Done. It may be a little wonky when it goes back to returning to the vertical alignment. That's okay. Now that we have our signature, all we want to do is click on the area we want to put it in. So I'll just click right in there, and then you see my signature pops up. Please try to move this so it's appropriate as if you did actually sign the document. You can simply take your signature or take your thumb or your finger and click on it, hold it, and drag it around like you saw me do here. And if that signature ends up being too big, you can take that double side arrow, which may be a little difficult to grab with your thumb or finger because of how tiny it is. So if that's the case, take 2 fingers or a thumb and a finger, put them on the screen or on the document, hold them and drag them away from each other to increase the zoom on your document. This will make the signature go away, but once you release, you'll see the signature comes back. Now I can more easily click on that double side arrow, and I can just hold it and push it down to the left to make it smaller. If I make it too small, all I gotta do is hold it in the opposite direction. Now that's an appropriate size for that line, so now I can just click elsewhere on the document, and it will save that signature there. So, you would fill out all the other important information on this document or any other document and click the check mark in the top left-hand corner. Now this document is ready to go. Now what we want to do is exit our Acrobat and go into our email again. Your email will likely still be on this page here. If it is not, please follow the steps in the earlier part of this tutorial video. What we want to do now, once we have all of the documents we have done, is click Reply to this conversation. There, it's going to open us this email reply here. The first thing we want to do is we want to make sure all our forms are actually attached on the email. To do that, we want to take a look toward the top right-hand corner, and there's a little tiny paperclip icon there. We'll click right there. Oop, I clicked Send by accident. Click on the paperclip icon, and find your files. Now I'm going to use my Files app here. Most Android phones should have this app. If for some reason you are using something different and you're not sure how to get to it, again, please contact your intake and eligibility specialist. But I'll be using Files. Mine will be under Documents right here. And we see here that that Consent for Release 2019 is timestamped for about 1:45. That is when I was using it. That's when it's saved, so I can click right on there. And it's going to attach that document for me. If I attach the wrong document by accident, I can simply click that X and follow the process I just did to find the correct documents. As I mentioned before, you will do this for all of the documents that you have been sent by your intake and eligibility specialist. Please be sure not to forget attaching any documents, as they will need all the documents returned with all your information filled out. The last thing we want to do is simply type a very simple reply here. It doesn't need to be long-winded or anything like that. No. Here are my documents. Thank you. That's all they will need. Then when you're done with everything, simply click Send in the top right-hand corner. So everything is sent. You can see your reply right here in the center of your screen. And that is how to take advantage of the Adobe Acrobat app to fill out your WIOA registration materials. I really hope this video was a asset to you while you're doing this process, and I really hope you are staying safe and healthy. And other than that, thank you. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to your intake and eligibility specialist. And otherwise, keep on keeping on, everyone.